Hi, hello, welcome viewers. Welcome to MRK Techno. This is aerodynamics lecture series. As a part of aerodynamics lecture series, the first I am going to deal with the fluid properties, the basics of aerodynamics. So before going into aerodynamics, so it's the basic that the aerodynamics has evolved from fluid mechanics. So I will just deal with the fluid mechanics properties, then slowly I will go into the aerodynamics topics. So before that, dear viewers, do subscribe to my channel. So aerodynamics is the study of airflows. So natural atmospheric airflows. So simply it is the study of airflow, whether it is in motion. So dynamics. So we are going to study the dynamics of airflow. And this is the basics that aerodynamics has been evolved from the fluid mechanics. So aerodynamics is a part of fluid. So then we'll just go into the fluids. So before understanding aerodynamics, just let us understand what is a fluid. So now, so fluids. So what are fluids? The fluids are defined as which is capable of flowing. So the substance or the matter which is capable of flowing is called the fluid. Okay, so according to this definition, two substances or two state of matters comes under this category. So one is liquid and other is gas. So you know, we have four states of matter. So one is liquid, solid, gas and the final plasma. Okay, so considering this four states of matter, we can say that liquids, gas as well as plasma can flow, but excluding plasma, we are not talking about plasma now. So we will consider only liquid and gas. So these two can flow. So coming about liquids, so these liquids, so how do they differ from the gas? So liquids and gases. So to say liquids, so liquids has measurable volume. So you can measure the volume for liquids, and they always occupy the shape of the container in which they are stored. Okay, so here gas doesn't have measurable volume. So absence of measurable volume for gas. So you can measure the volume for liquids. So that's why if you want to ask a gasoline, petrol, so we'll ask 1 liter petrol or 2 liter petrol. But gas, since there is no measurable volume, we don't measure the gas in terms of volume. So generally if you take LPG cylinder, so LPG cylinder is measured as 1 kg cylinder. So whatever we have in our kitchen, so we use domestic cylinder which is 14.5 kg and commercial 19 kg like that. So we measure the mass for the gas and we measure volume for the liquids, because liquids contain measurable volume, gases does not contain measurable volume, and liquids occupy the shape of the container in which they stored, and gas, you take any container, they occupy the entire container. Okay, you may take 1 meter cube container, you take 10 meter cube container, but you fill any gas, it will occupy the entire container. So there is no proper measurable volume for the gas. That's why we measure the gas with the weight under particular storage pressure and temperature with standard volume. So if you have a standard volume, so we need a particular pressure and we need a particular temperature to say, so this much mass of gas or weight of gas is present. So that's why, so to measure the gas, so we also need standard volume of the container. Okay, here volume of the container, generally I used to represent with this letter because V is also used for velocity. So I will use this one. So volume of the container is necessarily required, and pressure and temperature. So if you define these three variables, then you can say what is the mass of the gas that you are going to use. Okay, because if these three vary, then definitely this vary even though you have standard volume of the container. So same container, if pressure varies, mass varies. If temperature varies and automatically pressure varies, so mass varies. So volume is fixed. Volume of the container is fixed. Okay, so even though you are fixing volume of the container, but if P changes, T changes, automatically M changes. So in order to define M for a particular gas which is stored in a container, you need standard volume, standard pressure and standard temperature. Then only the gas measurement is possible. Such a difficulty is with the gas. And liquids, of course, they expand slightly with the temperature. So once temperature is fixed, okay, so you can define the volume of the liquid. So liquid is not such a problem. Easily you can measure volume, particular, temperature and pressure. Of course, there's, since liquids are considered almost incompressible. So incompressible in the sense very slightly they are compressible under heavy pressures. Under heavy pressures only the liquids are considered as compressible. So we can use almost incompressible, and gases are highly compressible. So gases are highly compressible. So these are the basic differences between liquids and gases, and in what other ways they differ. So why we have separate classification for aerodynamics. So how the formulas varies, how the measurement properties varies. So we will see now in detail step by step. Now if we take the properties for fluids, so generally we go with pressure, velocity, temperature, viscosity, some other properties. So mass we know already, mass is the common property. So mass, some other properties like specific gravity, so etc. are the important properties which we generally use while we deal with this aerodynamics or fluid mechanics. So generally coming about pressure. So talking about pressure, so pressure is defined as the force acting per unit area. So pressure is defined as the force acting per unit area. So a precise definition, so which tells about the force is a differential force acting on a differential area, provided the differential area is very minimum, which is tending to 0. So a differential pressure is acting over a differential area where the area is a minimum one, where the area is tending to 0, dA is tending to 0. Now based on this property, we can say that the pressure is a point property. So as the area is tending to 0, so pressure is a point property. So if you take the pressure measurements in unfavorable pressure gradient flows, so this pressure will vary from point to point. That means point to point in the sense, if you consider the most unfavorable flow, the pressure may vary within 1 mm or less than that also. So okay, so it changes from point to point. So pressure is a point property, and since it is force, you can take SI unit as newtons and area is square meters. So Newton meters square meters is the unit for the pressure, and simply this Newton per meter square is called Pascal. Generally other units are used PSI, so pounds per square inch, some popularly used in British system. So other unit pounds per square inch, so pounds of force acting over a square inch area. So that is also the popularly used unit in British system. And there are many ways of pressure measurement, and there are many types of pressures, so that I will discuss after completing these topics. Okay, so talking about velocity. So velocity is just the displacement of fluid molecules over a considered time. So need not to discuss much about velocity. And temperature. Temperature, it is the state of measurement of energy, heat energy contained by the any substance, it may be fluid or solid, anything. And coming about viscosity. So viscosity of the fluids is very, very important. So viscosity also plays a major role. So viscosity, talking about viscosity, we have two types, which is dynamic viscosity. Whenever we say simply viscosity, by default it is considered to be a dynamic viscosity, which is represented with letter mu. So this dynamic viscosity how it is defined. So to consider this dynamic viscosity, we have to refer Newton's law of viscosity. So Newton's law of viscosity, what it says is, if a shear stress is acting on a liquid molecule or fluid molecule, so let us say the shear stress is tau, it will create a velocity gradient, so which is proportional to this shear stress. So velocity gradient dv by dy. So if a force shear stress is acting, so it will create a velocity gradient. So this velocity gradient, so whatever the velocity gradient we are getting, it is always proportional to shear stress. So this is called Newton's law of viscosity, and we are equating by using a constant which we call it as the dynamic viscosity mu. And here mu is written like this, so mu can be written as tau into dy by dv. So mu is the dynamic viscosity, so which can be written as tau into dy by dv. Now what is tau? Tau is shear stress. So stress again has the units of same Newton per meter square, and velocity. So here inverse of velocity. So generally velocity we have meter per second. So here the distance, velocity gradient it is. So here it is the dy is the distance, so meter, and here inverse of velocity. So inverse of velocity. So I will write like this, meter per second. So meter cancels. So here we have SI unit as Newton second per meter square for the viscosity. And another kind of viscosity generally which is used is the kinematic viscosity, which represents with letter mu. So kinematic viscosity represented with the letter mu. Mu equals to mu by rho. So kinematic viscosity simply defined as the dynamic viscosity by density. So the dynamic viscosity, here we have unit Newton second per meter square, and the inverse of density. Inverse of density units we are having kg per meter cube. So we can write it as meter cube per kg. So the leftover unit here, so meter square meter cube, so 1 meter will be left over, Newton second meter per kg, and here we can convert this kg into Newton or Newton into kg. So we will see the connecting relation between the Newton and kg as W equals to mg. We have this relation W equals to mg. So weight equals to mass into gravitational force. So here using this, 1 Newton equals to 1 kg meter per second square. So instead of Newton, I can write here kg meter per second square. So kg meter per second square into second into meter per kg. So this Newton is replaced with this unit. Okay, so kg cancels, and here square second cancels. So here finally we have unit meter square per second. So meter square per second is the unit we are using for this kinematic viscosity. So kinematic viscosity has units of meter square per second, which is a very big unit to measure kinematic viscosity. So such big units are not used. So very small unit like centimeter square per second is frequently used. And this is about viscosity. Then coming about mass, then we have another property, very important property, density and specific gravity. So mass we know. So mass is the simply defined as m. So we have many relations. It's a basic fundamental property of the physics. So simply mass is the amount of matter contained by any substance. So unit we have kg. And specific gravity, density. Now first we will discuss density. So just now we have used a relation for density. Density represented with a rho, which is mass per unit volume. So has units kg per meter cube. Okay, then we have specific gravity. Specific gravity is it's a ratio between the density of any substance by density of water. So specific gravity, here we have rho of any substance by rho of water. So if you divide any substance density with the density of water, then you are going to get specific gravity. Many symbols are used in various textbooks, generally a kind of omega symbol frequently used. Okay, so here, since it is the ratio between two same quantities, there will be no units for this specific gravity. Now here, considering the pressure, so these are the important properties of the fluids. If pressure changes, automatically velocity changes, temperature changes, then it will affect viscosity, density. So if one of these parameters in your fluid flow changes, everything changes. So they are interconnected with each other. So based on these properties only, we can estimate the behavior of fluids. So the fluid behavior can be clearly estimated by this. Now, why this fluid dynamics and aerodynamics are separately studied is, so liquids, if you take, so especially this is very important, which cannot be seen in many textbooks. So if I take any liquid and drop it on an inclined surface, so if you just drop it, it will always flows towards the ground level. Okay, so liquids, what it means is they are affected by gravity, variation in gravity. That means you know that any fluid flow to happen, so you need energy difference. So there should be high energy on one side and low energy on other side. So the fluid flow can takes place from high energy to low energy. Okay, so the difference of energy is definitely required. So if you take liquids, here the liquid is placed at higher potential and here it is at lower potential. Potential in the sense the gravity difference. So because of that, the liquid, if you just drop it, the liquid flows under the effect of gravity. But the same thing I cannot do with a gas. So if I release a gas will not come here. So this means that the gases are not affected by gravitational forces. So you cannot have gas flowing from higher altitude to lower altitude. Only they are affected by pressure changes, but not gravity changes. So liquids are affected by variation in gravity. So liquids perfectly they are affected by variation in gravity, but gases are not affected by variation in gravity. Okay, so gases only they flow from higher pressure to lower pressure or higher temperature to lower temperature. The change in temperature in turn will act on the pressure. So pressure is the main driving force for the gases. So liquids are affected by all the three ways. So temperature changes, pressure changes, and as well as gravitational changes. So only here what is I am going to say is, to hold a gas molecule you need gravitational force. Okay, to hold a fluid, any molecule, anything, to hold it on a planet surface you need gravitational force. Okay, but gases are not influenced by gravitational force. In order to hold the gas molecule you need gravitational force. For example, I can say there is no environment, there is no atmosphere on the moon. So there is no atmosphere on the moon. Why? So what is the reason is, moon gravitational force is not sufficient to hold the gas molecules, because if you take moon, the gravitational force is just 1/6 that of earth. So 9.8 meter per second square divided by 6, it comes around 1.66 meter per second square on the moon, which is not sufficient to hold the gas molecules. Hence there will not be any gas molecule on the moon. So there is no atmosphere on the moon. But if you take other planets, all the planets has sufficient gravitational force which is almost equal to the earth or greater than the earth, so which is sufficient to hold the gas molecules. For example, if you see Mars, they have poisonous gases like carbon monoxide, sulfur gases, etc., etc. They have the atmosphere, but moon doesn't have the atmosphere because the gravitational force is not sufficient to hold the gas molecules. So gas molecules, in order to hold the gas molecules you need gravitational force, but gases are not influenced by variation in gravitational force. Best example I can say is the Bernoulli's equation. This equation derivation and everything I will definitely discuss in my upcoming videos. So generally the Bernoulli equation for fluids is written like this: P by rho plus V square by 2 plus Zz equals to some constant. Okay, so this is the common Bernoulli's equation used for any fluid flows. So what is the meaning of this Bernoulli's equation? Sum of pressure energy plus kinetic energy plus datum energy is equals to constant. So this datum energy has the term G, gravitational force. Okay, so this means it is the common Bernoulli's equation which says that sum of all the energies in a fluid flow remain constant provided if you don't remove or add energy to the fluid flow in between the considered points. You are considering two locations, location 1, location 2, where certain fluid flow is happening, and there if suppose you are not taking any energy or not adding any energy to the flow, then this equation is valid. P by rho plus V square by 2 plus Gz equals to constant. So of course this equation is also having lot of limitations that I will discuss in upcoming videos. But now what I want to say is generally this is the Bernoulli's equation which is a common form. But for an aerodynamics engineer we are not going to use this equation as it is. So aerodynamics engineers, since they deal with the gases, that is air flows, they will drop this term. So Zz is not considered. So what do we write? So P by rho plus V square by 2 equals to constant. So this is not the exact form what we used. Simply multiply with the rho on both sides. So P plus half rho V square equals to constant is the common format of Bernoulli's equation used by aerodynamics engineers. So this is valid for only gases, since we are dropping the datum energy which is the variation in gravitational force. Okay, so this is valid only for the gases. So whereas this equation is valid for any kind of fluid flow. Both are Bernoulli's equations only. Just we are dropping this Gz and simply we are multiplying on both sides with the rho term. Okay, constant. So here constant into rho, again it will become a constant. This is the basic introduction about the aerodynamics, so which is a part of fluid mechanics. Still I am going to discuss more things about the viscosity, pressure measurements in my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. Do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.